Welcome to the 2018 MCLA Tournament National Championship game at the Division II level. We've got a great matchup for you today. St. Thomas making their 8th all-time appearance in this game, chasing title number 6. They will be facing first-time championship game residents NDSU. These teams coming from the same conference, so expect a good one. I'm joined by Ryan Powell. I'm Chris Marshall and EJ Freeman. And I got to tell you, these two teams, St. Thomas hailing from St. Paul, North Dakota State hailing from Fargo, these teams aren't going to be afraid of the weather.
No, they're not afraid of the weather for sure, and they're very used to playing against each other. So I believe this is the third time they're going to be competing against each other this year, very familiar with one another. And these are exactly the type of condition that they're used to playing in.
Well, and I know we saw both of these teams yesterday. A lopsided 14-5 victory for St. Thomas over Grand Valley State, and an 11-8, slightly less convincing victory for North Dakota State. A little bit of trouble at the beginning of that one North Dakota had with their 10-man ride. How do you see that factoring in today, right?
Yeah, it seems like they're going to continue to stick with it. It's part of their team identity. It's what they do. Everybody in the tournament's been talking about it. You know, I felt like they were very tough in the 6-on-6 situation. Minnesota Duluth was having a heck of a time trying to figure that out. And, you know, in that 10-man ride, sometimes you get some really easy goals out of it. And Minnesota Duluth scored 4 of them. So we'll see how it fares this week. Again, like I talked about, the two teams being very familiar with each other. So St. Thomas has seen the 10-man ride. We'll see how they react.
Certainly. And EJ, what are you looking for out there?
Well, just like I said, the 10-man ride is going to be a big part of this game. If they can get St. Thomas to speed up and play at a helter-skelter pace, enjoys, they're going to have some success. That's going to be the key to this game for them. On a note, guys, Minnesota Duluth only cleared 17 of 31 times, so that 10-man ride did pay some dividends for them.
That's a good stat, EJ. That's why you keep you around. EJ, of course, roams the sideline for Georgia Tech. Been there for 9 seasons now, alongside MCLA President Ken Lovett. So certainly happy to have him here on the sideline, of course, with lacrosse legend Ryan Powell joining me as well. In this broadcast, like every other broadcast from here on out, fully interactive. Make sure to use the hashtag NDSUVST. See your tweets there up on the screen. Also, hit us up on Twitter at CMarshallLSN. Love to hear from you guys what you think of the game, who you think is going to win. And, you know, maybe if you have some questions for Ryan, I'm sure some of you do. But,
yeah, fire them out there.
Got the first face-off win going St. Thomas's way. They've got a big, athletic, and very fast team. And both these guys up top, 21 and 22, Turner and Dowdle. Expect us to be calling their numbers today because both those guys, big pieces of the puzzle for their victory on Thursday.
No doubt about it. They make a lot of stuff happen for St. Thomas. Big, strong, athletic, dodging midfielders. They bring a lot of pressure to the defense from up top.
And there you have it. Dowdle, ears are burning. He breaks the scoring open 1-0 St. Thomas. And you can see the sideline. They are ready to go. Not even sure what that celly is. It looks like a bunch of airplanes or something.
I don't know, but what I do like about it and what I do know is that the fire is just coming off that St. Thomas bench. These guys are extremely fired up, very passionate lacrosse players, and they came out here with one thing in mind, and that is to win the title.
Yeah, and 50 seconds in, probably not the place you want to be if you're North Dakota State playing a team, like I said, 8 trips to the championship game, 5 titles to their name. Experience maybe paying off early on.
Thanks, guys.
And there's a big hit there in the middle, but North Dakota State able to come up with it. And we're going to get our first look at their offense as they're able to get it into the box and move the ball to Benak.
I like number 10, Benak's game. Big, strong, dodging midfielder. He looked really sharp today in warm-ups.
Brandon Wirtz wearing the 3s today, as he has all season. But another guy, when you talk about the size and athleticism, not afraid to lower his shoulder. Dowdle going both ways as he's taking the short stick matchup, going against Ryan Stover. Stover moves the rock. Looked like Olsen had his man hung up. Nice recovery. Simpson. North Dakota resetting up top. Now Olsen. Unable to come up with that is Simpson. Dowdle with the ground ball. Nice dig. Broman gets it in. Dangerous pass in the middle. Ball's still down. Venable can't get away. Now here come the Bison. And there's Wirtz. Looks like Olsen's going to be able to run this one down. Nice ride there by the Bison.
You know, so much of this tournament that I've seen, a lot of the games, has really been decided in between the lines. It's been the turnovers in the clear game and giving one team another opportunity, another possession to score a goal. So keep an eye on that. These guys got to be really sharp in that clear game today. But I've been really impressed both ways with the offensive sets that we've been seeing.
There's the skip pass up top. It's Alec Larson. I think these teams match up better in terms of their size and speed with each other than they did with their opponents. Seem to overpower their semifinal opponents. Larson working from up top, moves it, and Olsen now behind. Bison patiently working through their offense. Again, here's Larson from outside, takes the shot. Nice lift by the defense, but it's going to stay with the Bison as Simpson backs it up.
How about Dowdle out there, number 22 for St. Thomas? He's got the one goal for St. Thomas here today, but he hasn't come off the field very much. He's a really good two-way midfielder, and he's playing really good defense on top of having the one and only goal for St. Thomas. So when you got a midfielder that can do both on the offensive end and the defensive end, it's really important for your team. Great job by Dowdle.
And agree with you, I'm not sure he has come off the field at all, but shot saved by St. Thomas. Jackson in the cage. He was very strong in the semifinal matchup. He's been good all year. Extended possession for North Dakota State. Sticking with the same group. Larson gets it back up top.
How about the size of Jackson in that cage? Man, he takes up a lot of that net. 6'4", 230. That's one big dude.
That is a big dude. And that one just off the mark for Wirtz. Simpson gonna back it up. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you see sort of, there's no real rhyme or reason to what makes you a good goalie. We saw Hampshire last night for BYU, you know, 5'6" with his cleats on, come out with 15 saves. And
150 pounds with wet sweatpants.
Wet sweatpants, exactly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They come in all sizes, but you got to have that mentality to be not afraid to step in front of a 100-mile-an-hour rocket ship shot. And that's what makes you the best goalies, is having that no fear component and willing to sacrifice your body and get in front of the ball on each and every shot.
Yeah, that was a level of madness that I never got to. One trip into the cage while coaching a high school team, soaked one in the high upper thigh, and never again have I made my way into the cage.
I played a lot of goalie with my brothers out in the backyard, but we always used the tennis ball.
Ah, see?
So I had no fear, though.
Braver man than me, RP.
Got to move those feet.
We'll see our first timer on call. Got our first tweet coming in, and there's a big hit from the side. Let's see what the call's going to be. It's going to be a hold without possession. Got calls coming from North Dakota State sideline saying he still had the ball. Decent argument there. and haven't seen it be a problem yet today. But some footing issues Thursday in the semifinals, and you'd think, with the wet turf, maybe you'd see a little more slipping, but everybody seems to be pretty sure-footed so far. Wirtz working inside, gets inside his man, can't get the shot off. It's good defense, now coming back the other way, great ground ball. Once again, here comes St. Thomas. Tommies like to push it. It's Venable, pulls it out.
The Tommies do like to push it, and that's where I've been so impressed with North Dakota State so far. They've been being very patient on the offensive end. In 7 minutes of play here, this is only the second time the ball's been down in the St. Thomas offensive end.
And obviously, the officials letting them hold on to it. Didn't get the timer on call until a couple of minutes into that possession. We got our first tweet coming in, this one from Carter T. James. Apparently it's the Bison with like a Z. So work to fix that for you. Thanks for tuning in. But keep those tweets coming. Love to hear from you guys.
Feel like we just had the school teacher chime in there, correcting us.
Well,
let's get some comments on the game, huh? You're doing great.
Appreciate that.
Don't let that guy
you make
get
me
you.
better. That's
Don't
why I
let
like
him get in your head. All right, we're doing just fine up here.
And not much on that shot. Here come the Bison downhill. Nice look, 30-yard pass to Arby Sorensen trying to get away. Again, aggressive defense from the Tommies. Now Larson trying to turn the corner. He's been an explosive player. Gets it to Simpson. Simpson takes the shot. Buries it high to low on the finish. And the Bison are on the board. What a shot by Simpson. Look at the replay here. That one started with Olsen.
Yeah, it sure did start with Olsen. This is a nice two-man play here for North Dakota State. A big game, Olsen to the backside. Great extension by the attackman. Noah Simpson with his left hand. Good extension around the goaltender. Puts one down low through the wickets. And in the early going here, this thing is going in North Dakota State's favor. They're playing at the pace they want to play. They're dictating tempo. They're getting good play in between the lines. And again, another nice offensive set in the 6-on-6 situation.
And the ref's letting them play. And that one's 6 through. Sorensen can't keep it in his stick. Good intensity as Venable comes up from the box and able to get that one. Love to see your attackman play with that kind of intensity. Here comes Dowdle. Look out by his first man. Great look. Here's the shot. And that one's stoned. What a save coming back the other direction. Noah Orem. And he was a big piece of the puzzle in the second half, especially on Thursday.
There has been no shortage of good goaltending play since I arrived here in Salt Lake City on Monday. I've seen excellent goaltending play. And these are two of the top guys, obviously, in the MCLA Division II, and that's why their teams have found themselves in the championship game.
And St. Thomas matching feet along the midline. Bison able to break it. Tough pass across. Great stick work coming the other direction. Sam Hoover, he's like a vacuum off the turf. And Alex Vigems pulls it out, gets to Venable. And we watched the pull play from St. Thomas on Thursday. Hoover, as well as Sam Fuller, both very active.
Very active, very good at getting the ball up off the ground, and they make smart decisions on the clearing game. And that was not the case there for North Dakota State. They had their defenseman that cleared it across the midfield line and then made a poor pass. I just talked about dictating tempo and having smart possessions, and that was a bad turnover.
Dice able to run that one down, keep it in. Now he gets it, moves down to Venable. St. Thomas trying to find their rhythm. Thies working on the shorty, gets inside of his man, takes the shot, nice trail check as that one goes out of bounds. Backed up by the Tommies. And that should be a fun matchup to watch. Venable working on Evan Shrout. Another great handle by Orem. But Venable, a dynamic dodger, And then Shroud on the defensive side, 43, has been a pretty darn good defender this tournament, and all season for that matter. Watch out. Comes Spencer Marsh looking across. There's the shot. Big save by Jackson. Ball pops out. See who's going to get it. Kicked out. Olsen's got a line on it. Turns the corner. Sends that one back, but Dowdle got that name on speed dial. Going to be calling it all day. See if Dowdle can get away, fighting out the double. The quadruple team finally loses the handle. Theis there to pick it up, and what a no-look flip. Here comes St. Thomas. Trouble, and that one finds the back of the net as Trent Gam knows what to do when he's in that tight. A great hustle play in the middle of the field by Dowdle and Turner to put that one in the back of the net.
Yeah, they're going to get a little extra here, too. Turner made a nice dish. He got a late stick check towards his head on North Dakota State. So there's going to be a penalty on top of this goal.
If you take a look at the replay, you see him take the hit. Nice look inside, and then pins that one top shelf. Not a whole lot you're going to be able to do with that one if you're him. And that's going to be an unnecessary roughness going against North Dakota State. That's 50. Taking some time on timeout. It's Matt Lutkin, the sophomore, out of Robbinsdale, Minnesota.
Let's check in with EJ down there. What'd you see on that last goal, buddy? You had a pretty good view of it.
I did. That was right down here in front of me. St. Thomas came up, tried to run through the 10-man with one guy, got a little bit lucky to get that ball out of there. He's got to redirect that to the middle of the field, and then they'll get that same look that they got there. Got a little lucky to get rid of that one, I thought.
Here comes Shrout winning the man-down face-off. That's an important one for the Bison. Olsen going to see if he can run this one out. It's good pressure defense. This would be a big penalty kill if North Dakota State's able to run 60 off the clock.
St. Thomas just keeping a guy in the middle. Looks like they're pretty content. In this situation, I'd like to see a double, especially if you're that early on in the penalty possession. Get out there and double them. Try it for about 30 seconds, and then you always got the opportunity to drop back in and play it safe after that. But in the early going, I like a little bit more pressure.
It's good athleticism from Benak. He turns the corner, takes the shot, scores the shorthanded goal. Tie things up at 2. You talked about Benak and how you liked his game, showing his athleticism as he turns the corner and buries the goal.
I do like his game, and he's very athletic. I'm not so sure I love going to the cage in that situation, but hey, if you're out there, you got the ball in your stick, you're feeling it, you feel like you got a good matchup, he certainly got the talent to do what he did just there.
You're sitting on the sideline as the coach. It's no, yes. And there he is. You see him turn the corner. And again, going 5-hole. It's been a good look inside for the Bison so far. 2 goals, but still a man down.
That's a good spot, good placement on the shot. Anytime you got a big, tall goaltender, 6'4", it makes it a little bit tough for Jackson to try to get a stick down to that in between his legs there and make that save. So great placement.
And there's Shrout out there trying to win another one. And they're back to even strength. Great trail check. That one popped out. Excellent defensive effort. That one coming from 28, Jack Dietz. But controlling the tempo right now is North Dakota State, playing with a lot of adrenaline.
They are playing, yeah, they're playing with some serious energy right now. This has been a great lacrosse game to watch so far. Got good offensive possessions out of both these teams, and the energy of the MCLA championship game is on display firsthand.
And we're over here sitting between the benches, and you can really feel it when these teams get fired up. I mean, it's infectious. There's a look. That one just off the mark. Looks like it's going to stay in. And that one Flipped out, Olsen runs over it, and that one touches the line and it's out of bounds. Olsen just missed it. We're seeing that soft turf kill the ball.
Yeah, guys, down here on field level, the field is a little bit soft, but the footing is still pretty good at this point. But I do expect the ball to stay in bounds a lot more than you'd expect.
Tommy's able to break the 10-man ride. Got a man in the middle for the shot. That one off the mark. And Tommy's able to get back it up. Orem tries to get a stick out there and see if he can beat him. Opts to stay in his cage. Of course, a newer rule over the last 3 or 4 seasons. Goalie no longer given a grace period. Used to be 5 seconds if they left the crease. Now the quick whistle is taking that out of the game. Appears to be the second line midfield for the Tommies. It's Bumgardner.
1 minute remaining in the first quarter. 1 minute.
Jake Bauman had a goal in the semifinals. He moves it around. Beejam's back up top. There's Bauman again. Into the final 40 seconds of the quarter. It's like St. Thomas might be holding for that last shot. That one a little high, but able to pull it in with one hand. Stanchfield. That one knocked down by Shrout. There's the shot. And that one off the mark, but it never looked like Orem had a line on it. Stansfield takes the shot. That one too high. Staying with the Tommies, down to 20 seconds. Beejams works to Stanchfield. Tommy's being very patient. There's the look inside again. Tommy's having trouble hitting the cage.
Yeah, if you're number 13 there for North Dakota State, Eric Larson, you can't chase a stick in that situation. You got your man up there with the ball, you got to take body.
And that one's going to count right at the buzzer. The skip off the wet turf, playing tricks on Orem in the cage, and that is a huge momentum goal for the Tommies.
Yeah, you're exactly right. This grass is surface right now. It does play tricks on a goaltender. That thing, you could see it from here. It took a really rocket skip off a nice hard shot to the back of the cage, and he certainly got that one off in time. That is a G, my friends.
Yeah, and you see the defender kind of jump out of the way. You got to take that one from there if you're shielding the goalie. But we saw the turf on Thursday when it was dry, and the bounce shots weren't working. A lot of the turf taking some of the zip off the ball. Today, maybe a different story.
Yeah, it's weird as far as that goes, too, because I was thinking on my way over here today that it would be a little bit different, like you wouldn't want to have any bounce shots. But now the way that I see the way this ball's skipping, I think it's a high percentage shot, and I'd be looking to bounce that ball, especially on those sidearm crank shots, as much as you can, because it plays some tricks on the goalies like we just saw on the last goal by St. Thomas.
Yeah, and certainly when you're looking at these games and these teams that are so familiar, the rain's starting to come down a little bit here. And EJ was listening in on the huddle. What are you hearing?
Well, guys, I was in the St. Thomas defensive huddle, and that their big talking point was about their approach angles. They want to make sure they approach from the proper angles and keep their feet under them, make sure they're not lunging. And on the same point, if you watch down North Dakota State, they're in that zone defense right now. They have to be very disciplined in their approaches. St. Thomas looked like they got their hands free a couple times, stepping around guys who are lunging out, coming out too quickly on the approach. Especially with this surface, you got to keep your feet under you. Back to you guys.
Thanks, EJ. And just about ready to get going here in the second quarter. Reminder, use the hashtag up there at the top left. You can see it. NDSUVST. You can send tweets to me as well at CMarshallLSN on the old Twitter box. But love to hear from you guys. Big game opportunity for championship number 1 for the Bison and number 6 for St. Thomas.
Boy, C. Marshall, I feel pretty good in the fact that we get to sit up here in this nice suite, all nice and warm. We see EJ down there dealing with the elements of the rain.
I bet you do feel good, Ryan. I bet you do.
We're out here in the Subway Skybox. It's nice. Got a soda fountain, warm pizza. Having a good day. Again, high pressure. That one from Fuller, but able to get out. It's Darby Sorensen. Losing his footing, gets off. Numbers opportunity for the Bison. I'll have to pull it out. Very patient as Strauss holds on to it. Maybe we'll let EJ come join us up here at halftime, though.
I certainly hope so. You guys may not have a choice.
We'll give the doorman your name. And seeing North Dakota State, very patient here. In just 5 goals in the first 16 or so minutes of this game. And both of these teams really opened things up in the third quarter in their semifinal matchups. There's a look across. And that one, looks like they wanted the tip. They aren't going to get it. It's official right on top of that one. And again, Dowdle.
Guy doesn't come off the field much,
Doesn't come off
does
the
he?
field. I wonder if he's wearing a Fitbit. Love to see how many miles he's putting in today.
Absolutely, but I'm a huge fan of that, especially in this game, right? You take your stud players and you get them out there. No reason to have guys over here on the bench watching other people play when you got the studs, and Dowdles can run all day. Superb athlete.
And here's the last opportunity. I mean, 60 minutes. Win or go home. Go for the glory. You know, you get those competitors, guys who are great athletes. I mean, you know how it goes. You can do anything for 60 minutes. A lot of movement from the St. Thomas offense here. Trying to run some pick plays, some screens through the middle. See Theis coming out. Nice 2-man game, gets to Venable. Here's an opportunity. There's the shot on the worm burner. Off the mark once again. And to echo EJ's point, getting some hands free for the Tommies.
Yeah, getting some hands free for sure. That was a really nice set. Little 2-man game behind. North Dakota sent 2 guys to the ball. Opened things up pretty good for Venable, who made a nice dish.
That was dangerous.
That was dangerous. That was close.
And Strauss able to get it across, and Simpson snags that one in. A little behind him, gets it to Olsen. This little bounce pass up top. Let's get a look here at the offense once again. Bison subbing to the midline, getting their personnel on. Sorensen working with Larson, as well as Spencer Marsh. Olsen, ambitious with that pass, looking for Sorensen. Coming the other way, ball knocked out by Larson. That one's going to stay in. Larson comes away with it. Nice little step there by Larson. He does it all. Gets the takeaway, the ground ball, and the G. Not often you get to add 3 checks to the score box on the same play.
What an unbelievable play there by number 13, Eric Larson. Like you talked about, that's kind of a do-everything type goal right there. Hard ride, picking up the ground ball, bringing it down, couple dodges, and a nice shot and bury to cap off an unbelievable play by Larson.
You see a nice little hitch there as he turns the corner. Overhand shot changes the plane, and again, going low on the tall goalie.
Yeah, I like the hitch move, but if you're St. Thomas in that defense, you can't be chasing that stick. We've seen that a couple times out here today. You got to be taking body, especially on this surface. A little bit wet grass, not great footing. So you got to play the body in this situation, even more important on a day like today.
Wow. Yeah, guys, and that was an approach like they talked about in their huddle between quarters. Bad approach. North Dakota State took advantage of it.
Exactly the point I was going to make there, EJ. Good work. Theis able to come up with the ground ball off the face-off there. Tommy's back on the offensive side. And again, you talk about Larson. He's a guy that's been using his size and his body to back down defenders. Maybe the Tommy's not expecting the kind of burst of speed he had there. And turns the corner, and that one goes in as Venable still down on the turf, but the goal is going to count. So Orem pulls it out. There he is. Pushing down the whole sideline there. That's a fun Sally.
When you watch the replay on this goal, this is exactly what I'm talking about with Venable catching that ball on this wet surface. Those defensemen need to attack the ball carrier right in the middle of their chest. They got to slide right to the body. You can't get away with trying to chase sticks today in that situation, because a good offensive player is going to go a little quick change of direction, not giving the defender an opportunity to stop. And that's why you got to go right into the body if you're playing defense here today.
And seeing a number of different options from both teams at the face-off X. That one a win for Ben Campbell, who was strong in the second half of the semifinal matchup. The senior scored his first goal of the season. Starting to sense a little bit of a shift in momentum. The Tommies regain the lead. Tommies wanted to hold there. Strout trying to get away. Nice little spin move, showing the wheels off. And that one goes out of bounds. Tommy's gonna get there. Got a numbers opportunity with Strout all the way up near the midline. Again, solid effort all the way across the field. There's the shot from the outside. That one out of the stick. Again, the weather, slick ball, wet sticks, playing some tricks on these guys. And that one shifted out. See if the Bison able to come up with it again, and they do. Sorensen looking to get away. Some sloppy play in the middle of the field. But the Bison able to get it there, and now they're gonna talk it over. It's Coach Bosch. Good time for a timeout there, RP?
Yeah, great time for a timeout for sure. Get your offensive studs out there on the field and come up with a nice set. It's a little scrappy there. Guys were a little out of sort, so I like the timeout and come out with a good solid play here and maybe think about getting it to your man number 10 to make some good stuff happen. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Get it over there to Bannock.
And we talked about the momentum a little bit, but St. Thomas, you know, I mean, it's a good time to talk it over for your Coach Bosch. St. Thomas scoring a goal, winning some of the ground ball battles that we saw the Bison win earlier in the contest. Taking a look at a couple of the replays from the goals that we saw. That one, the first one from Dowdle. And then Simpson coming inside. But these
nice
two teams, you know, really evenly matched, at least so far. Can't go high to high on Orem.
No way.
Play the scout.
He's playing really good lacrosse right now. He's had a great tournament.
And there's that bouncer that we saw. I mean, that was just a rocket ship off the turf.
Oh, yeah.
Larson coming downhill was the one that made it 3-3. But impressed with the way that North Dakota State is playing so far. I mean, St. Thomas looked really strong. We got EJ down there who's listening into the Bison huddle.
Yeah, guys, I was in the North Dakota State huddle. On defense, they're talking about extending out a little bit more, putting a little more pressure on St. Thomas, and they want to eliminate skip passes, get their sticks up in the passing lanes. Here on offense, it was more just settle in, stop throwing skip passes. They don't think that they want the players to stop throwing the skip passes and just move the ball around and keep moving off ball. They think they'll find the openings that way. And they just sort of wanted to settle down there, got a little bit helter-skelter between the boxes. Back to you guys.
Bison now working it around.
I think that skip pass call out there is a nice way of telling Olsen not to try that skip pass. No pop on the pass, and it was a bad turnover, especially the game plan that they have here to play patient and, you know, good solid possessions every time down. You can tell that's North Dakota State's plan. So got to be smarter with the pass.
And there's a big save. Jackson starting to adjust. They keep shooting low, and he's able to get to that one. A nice adjustment from the big goalie.
Guys, with the soft field, I'm actually really surprised to see North Dakota State keep shooting low. I thought low shots would be taken away by the soft field today.
And that one looks like it's just going to stay in. Out. That one about as close as it gets. And that one, great ground ball coming the other way. Sellout from Feejams. Can't quite get there. Watch out. Comes North Dakota State, but they opt to pull it out. You hear the yellow call coming from the sideline. Dangerous pass. Larson able to pull it in. Defender loses his footing. See if he thinks about it again with that hitch move. That one straight off the shoulder. Great body save by Jackson.
How about this last ground ball by Jack Dietz? Give credit where credit is due. That was a nifty ground ball over here on the near sideline. And because of that awesome ground ball, that good work, he's going to give his team an opportunity to score a goal that could tie this baby up.
Well, that was about as close as I've ever seen a ball just stop right on the line. Just has to touch the line now, too, in lacrosse. Unlike soccer, where it has to completely get across it. So that one very close. But you mentioned, obviously, these schools and some hockey hotbeds. I suspect a few of these kids have found their way out onto the ice.
Oh, yeah, and a lot of that, when the ball's down on the ground, translates into being a good crafty player, knowing how to goose the ball to certain areas with their stick or their foot, and then, of course, picking up the ground balls.
I think that one's going to stay in. Nope, just makes it across. But again, the skip pass looked like coming from Olson. And that one bounces through. The stick on it, and the defender hitting the deck. See if the Tommies can capitalize on the number situation, not to pull it out. North Dakota State has to be pretty happy with the way their defense has been playing. It's a team that hung 14 on Grand Valley.
Good matchup here.
Final round. That'll keeping his head up. Gets it to Feejams. Goosed out by Shrout. Picks up the ground ball. Flips it across. And that one going to come back. Close call on that pass back to Jackson. Now Broman to Theis. Theis pulls it back, looking for help. Again, Dowdle on the far side, but gets it to Venable. Timeout for St. Thomas. A little bit sloppy play in the middle of the field. Maybe the weather starting to affect the sticks and the players a little bit. The rain has stopped, but obviously a lot of moisture still in the air.
Yeah, there's been some turnovers, a little bit of sloppy play, but it's better than what we've seen this week. I think, we got two of the top teams, obviously, here in the final, the top two teams for 2018. And, there has been some turnovers in the middle of the field, but not nearly as bad as some of the first-round games that I saw. And looks like they're cleaned it up a little bit and producing more opportunities for each respective offense.
Yeah, certainly. And anything you see differently out of maybe the Bison team that we didn't see yesterday, or Thursday rather, in their matchup?
I saw them trying to get to the cage a little bit quicker, like we talked about, that being familiar with St. Thomas and the fact that these guys play a couple times during the regular season. They have a game plan, and it seems like today is that they want to play methodical and they want to slow it down a little bit more. So they're not playing that up tempo like we saw just a couple days ago.
We had EJ listening in on the St. Thomas huddle. What do you got for us?
Well, Coach, the first thing they talked about was to really focus on moving their feet as they spin the ball. He felt like they were throwing too many balls flat-footed, and so North Dakota State was able to jump those passes, and those passes end up in the dirt as well. Really wants them to move their feet. He's prepared for zone or man here. If it's a zone, look for them to carry from the top and throw back. If it's a man, look for them to dodge from the wing against the short sticks and really spread out the defense. Back to you guys.
CJ. See Dowdle working from up top alongside Sam Turner, one of the more dynamic duos in terms of midfield dodgers, Division II level. And you mentioned, the two best teams, these teams ending the regular season ranked 1 and 2 respectively. So certainly the voters agree that the top two teams are here as well. And that one, low to low from Turner, missed the mark. Now Bundy bringing it in. It's been pretty quiet so far today, testament to the defensive play. And there's a great save by Orem as he gets low. And that one pulled in at the middle of the field. It's Valentini. This Bison team with a stable of capable D middies. Valentini comes out through the midline. Closing in on 4 minutes to play in the half. Got a real tight one between conference foes.
I got to make a prediction. This offensive possession right here, goal scored by number 4, Preston Olson. All right, I got to throw something out there.
All right, I like it.
Kid plays with a nice level of confidence. He's quick, got good vision, but not afraid to turn the corner.
And there's the low to low. And again, Jackson up to the challenge.
Here comes this 10-man ride. I mean, look how far they get their goaltender away from the goal. This is this high level of risk reward. We'll see what happens.
Orem able to get back into the cage. The echoed calls coming from the sideline. Both teams able to get the correct personnel out there. Venable moves it up top. Get a look here at the second line midfield for the Tommies. I think one of the things that sets these teams apart from some of the other teams at the Division II level, the depth on their rosters. Both pretty healthy numbers on the sideline.
Healthy numbers and good athletic teams, playing with a lot of energy like we've talked about. These guys are fired up here for game day, the national championship game, as they should be, and they're ready to leave it all on the field. We've had a great game here so far. A close one, good first half, good offense, good defense, good job on ground balls, great goalie play. We've seen a little bit of everything for a very good, entertaining first half to watch.
And one number we haven't called all that much is Bundy for the Tommies, who's the second leading point getter this season. Where's number 4, but a guy who's pretty dynamic in their semifinal victory. Has been a strong offensive piece for them all season. Avery Normandin, he's a real spark plug for this Bison team.
That last offensive possession there for St. Thomas, you got Charlie Venable, number 1, comes around left-handed. He's got to keep going, trying to shoot and release that ball too quick. There wasn't really a slide in the neighborhood, and he could have gotten a much better angle to shoot the ball if he attacked the front part of the cage a little bit harder. Extend those arms out and reach around the goaltender rather than trying to shoot it near side or through between his legs.
The championship step, as they say, RP.
Step to greatness.
Sorensen, now Olsen, 65 seconds to play in the half, and that one picked off. And the freshmen, some unforced errors early on in this game.
Not a bad time to use a timeout here.
I mean, the coach is sitting right next to us, so I mean, must have heard that one from you, RP. But certainly, when you look at 49 seconds to play in the half, you've got a 1-goal lead. A goal would mean a lot momentum-wise for the Tommies here.
No doubt about it. They're, you know, we've seen the goals right now are pretty tough to come by. This isn't an extremely high-scoring game, and it's a game of some really good, solid defensive units. So, you know, for St. Thomas right now, you really want to control the ball and get it down to about 15 seconds to go on the clock, and then have a set and a play that you can put some pressure on this defense, attack the cage, and try to get a big-time goal like you alluded to.
Well, I mean, who do you like to be the ball carrier here?
Well, I think Dowdle's always a great option. You know, I think either Dowdle or Turner, 22 and 21 from up top. I think that's where St. Thomas experiences the most amount of success. For me watching these games here during MCLA Championship Week, those two are big, strong, athletic midfielders that can really dodge and create for the team offense. They can draw slides out of the middle and open things up for the other players.
Well, let's see if you're right, EJ, listening in on the offensive huddle for the Tommies.
Well, guys, once again, they're prepared for zone or man against the zone. They're going to carry from X and throw back. And if it's man-to-man, they're going to attack the shorties. They want a multiple dodge possession, and they're really looking to not take a 15-yard shot. The coach made that point multiple times. They want an inside look or something within 10 yards. Back to you guys.
Turner, the one that started with it, now Dowdle from up top. He's by his man. Great defense. Is that one taken away? Bison able to come up with it. Let's see what they do here. Shroud has it in the middle now. Sends it back to Orem. But excellent short stick defense coming from the inside. Little 22-on-22 action. See if they're able to get the ball across down to the last 15 or so seconds. He just sends that across, and that one's going to make its way out of bounds with 7 seconds. Excellent ride by the Tommies. Still enough time. They have to move it forward pretty quickly. Saw them score one right at the buzzer of the quarter. Not even going to get a shot off here, as we're going to head into the half after a great 30 minutes of action. 1-goal lead for the #1 seed Tommies over the Bison. Anything you saw there at the end?
No, I just saw an awesome ride by St. Thomas and making it really tough on North Dakota State. I felt like, you know, they got that turnover and got the ball back with about 40 seconds, so plenty of time. Poor execution out of North Dakota State not to be able to, you know, have the right chemistry out there to get it clear and get it into the offensive end. But you know, great first half of lacrosse, like you were talking about.
And let's send it over to EJ, who's standing there with Coach Bosch.
Well, Coach, it's been a bit of a back-and-forth game. What's the message to your team at halftime? What do you guys want to build on? What do you want to improve on?
Just need to clear up some of the mistakes on the offensive end, turn the ball over, give them easy looks on the defense side is killing us. Got to make sure that we're pushing our possessions that we get, and time out there we can't just move the ball around and have empty possessions and turn the ball over before we're getting shots on the field.
Sure. Any big changes going into the second half?
Not let them score.
Okay, that should work. Thanks, guys. Back to you. Back to you guys.
Thanks, EJ. And there you have it. But don't go anywhere. You are watching the MCLA Division II National Championship game. 1-goal battle between North Dakota State and St. Thomas. We'll be right back after a quick break. And welcome back to the 2018 MCLA National Championship game at the Division II level. St. Thomas holding on to a 1-goal lead. It's of course powered by Under Armour. We were at the beautiful Regional Athletic Complex in Salt Lake City, Utah. Chris Marshall joined by Ryan Powell and EJ Freeman. And we've got a real barn burner for you today. Second half, 30 minutes to go. All for the glory. Championship on the line. This is the 8th all-time trip by St. Thomas to the title game. 5 titles to their name. This is the first ever title game appearance for the Bison, but they are hanging tough. The experience certainly not showing for North Dakota State. And RP, what do you got to do here in the second half for either of these teams to distance themselves?
Well, I'm not sure that's going to happen, to be honest with you, watching that first half of play. It doesn't really seem like one squad has much more firepower than the next. I think this is going to be a 1-goal game, and expect a lot of the same here in the second half like we saw in the first half. Excellent half of lacrosse in the first frame.
Well, and you could hear from the tents where these teams were talking at the break, a lot of noise coming from either side. Everybody fired up for this one. Both these teams distancing themselves from their opponents in the third quarter of their semifinal matchups. And there's a big hit as the flag comes down. And 17 still down on the ground. Let's see if the officials are going to stop play. And they do. But let's see the trainers come out. Hopefully he's all right. He's not moving. That's Joel Iverson, the junior out of Eagan, Minnesota. The trainer out there checking on him. He took a big hit to the head, and that one is tough. Looked like he ducked right into it. We're going to see what the officials have to say as they're talking about it, but he has not moved since that one. I guess we could take a look at the replay here. But the trainer's out there talking to him, and again, it's tough sometimes in these situations. Face-off guy is down for a ground ball, and then he takes a hit, that one high, and then he just stays low. Looks like that one was coming from 28. That's Jack Dietz starting to move a little bit. Looks like he's going to be able to get up under his own power, and he does. Looks to be okay. So you always want to see that as he's jogging off, but certainly got his bell rung there. But glad to see him on the sideline under his own power.
Yeah, Dietz is going to go to the sin bin for 2 minutes on this one. That's a good call by the officials. That's exactly the ruling and why they have that rule in lacrosse.
Yeah, certainly want to keep the players as safe as possible, especially when it comes to anything related to any sort of head injury. But he's going to be serving 2 full minutes regardless. So this is a big opportunity for St. Thomas if they can capitalize on their extra man. They were very effective in the extra man in their semifinal matchup with Grand Valley. So big opportunity.
Well, you asked me before what one of these ball clubs can do to pull away. That is one thing that I did not factor in there, was receiving a nice, generous 2-minute man-up advantage gift from the other squad. And if they can rattle off a couple in a row here on this man-up opportunity, that's a great way to distance themselves just a little bit here.
And sometimes when you take those big hits, you just need a minute to collect yourself and think about it. No wobbly legs or anything. I suspect we will probably not see 17 back out on the field. Iverson for St. Thomas, and that one, big save. Looked like it might have come off the helmet of Orem. And looked like might have been in the crease, and that's a big call going against St. Thomas. Careless mistake.
You know, in my years of playing lacrosse, I've been hit in the head quite a few times, but I'm not affected like you think I might be, Chris.
There you go. Get it from the living legend. And there's the Ward call going against North Dakota State. It's a tough call. Again, you see the footing go down.
Got to move it. Keep that ball hot here. Keep it hot. Move it.
And just under a minute left in this penalty. This would be a huge kill for the man down unit for the Bison. But again, keeping the biscuit hot here. The ball around. Staunchfield. There's the look inside. Vijams, and that's a dangerous pass, nearly picked off by Bumgardner. And Bumgardner, another one of those big athletic midfielders. Surprised you didn't see a more aggressive look there on that offense?
Yeah, I didn't think the ball was moving as hot as we had seen them in those man-up opportunities in the semifinal game that you alluded to. It's got to go from one guy's stick to the next, and they got to play a little bit more on their toes.
And just like that, back to even strength. So fortunate not to find themselves in a bigger hole. See if they get the trip call here, and the official keeps the flag in his pocket. No call there. It's going to be a hold going against St. Thomas. But Coach Bosch letting the Zebras hear it. Not the no call on the trip. Again, keep those tweets coming. Use the hashtag top left, NDSUVST, and you can find me on Twitter at CMarshallLSN. And that one out of bounds. The skip pass not looking, Olsen couldn't hold it in. Olsen been quiet in this one after a big game in the semifinal.
Look at this.
And that one coming across. Way to use the body to get in front of it. Alex Sorensen You hear the call coming from the NDSU sideline, the yellow call. Larson thought maybe he had some numbers. That's a solid recovery coming out of the box by Nicholas Perry.
St. Thomas has 7 guys out there on the defensive end, and the referee just saw it. They're going to get caught. North Dakota State's going to have a man-up opportunity, but as you always say, they're playing with house money right now. There'll be a 6-on-7 situation, so St. Thomas should be looking to double this.
Now Alec Larson moves it. Olsen can't come away with that one. Like he wanted to start moving before he caught the ball. And again, the freshman still a little bit of a case of the yips here in the championship game.
Well, you got to do a better job passing and catching the ball. You know, that's kind of been the general theme as I've seen a lot of games this week. There's not enough pride given to each and every possession. So important in the game of lacrosse. And, you know, it's a team that has the least amount of turnovers usually. Has got a lot more opportunities to score goals, and it's very important.
And there's the low to low. That one off the mark. Probably not going to be a super effective option on the turf here today. We've seen the bounce shots be very unpredictable. There's Olsen, comes inside, gets it to Simpson. Simpson looks for the high to high. Can't get it. Backed up by Jackson. Got a question coming in for you, Ryan. What is your greatest / favorite lacrosse memory from any level?
Well, it's hard not to say 2010. I got to play in the for Team USA, won the gold medal. And, you know, besides playing on an awesome team, it was the greatest honor of my lacrosse life was being named the team captain. So it's one thing making the team. It's a whole nother thing when you're selected by the coaching staff and your peers to be the captain and lead the ship, and led the ship, and we won the ship. And that was one special moment for sure. And that was towards the tail end of my career, and lasting memory that I'll have forever.
Awesome question. Great answer, too. Certainly getting the trophy over in England is really a cool situation. Looking forward to the championships coming up here in 2018.
I had some fun on that airplane ride home, too.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Nice look.
Dice can't come away with it. And picked up and then dropped. There in the middle. Still in there. About 10 players in there looking for that ground ball. See who's going to come up with it. Ball still up. Goosed out. Still down. Scrum fighting for it there. And that one goosed out. And the Bison coming up with it.
Looks like a rugby scrum there for a little while.
Yeah,
everybody was in the mix.
30 seconds on the deck. Nice little fake. Gets Thice up in the air. Stover. Time and room. There's the shot. Loses his footing. Doesn't matter. He finds the top corner. What a finish coming downhill by Simon Hatlin, the sophomore out of Rosemont, Minnesota. And just like that, we got a tie ball game here at 4-4.
Yeah, that was awesome the way that ends up over with Hatlin's stick, and he loses his footing on this shot, but he still puts it in there. Great placement on the shot. That little extra leg movement there on the slip might have thrown the goaltender off just a little bit. But regardless, Halton with a great catch, great finish, stepped down shot, and Mr. Jackson turn and rake, my friend.
And as they say, they all count the same. So all you got to do is get it past the netminder and into the netted portion. And that one down. Bison able to come away with it. And wow, fighting through that one. Hit the weights, big fella Banak, coming downhill. Gets it to Normandin. Normandin can't get the shot off. Excellent defense from the Tommies. And you can feel it, the intensity ratcheting up as we close in.
Is it ever?
23 minutes.
This is awesome, baby. Number 10. How about this kid? Are you kidding me? Banak from North Dakota State. That was taken off one big body, and he did not move an inch.
Not even an inch. Listed at 6'2", 205. And he does not skip leg.
He had to have been a high school fullback on the football team. That's a big, studly animal, that kid.
Yeah,
wow.
that was an impressive showing. I mean, I was worried when he started to kick it into gear heading down that sideline. He was walking the tightrope, had about 18 inches maximum of space. There's the look inside. There's the shot. Big save by Jackson. Going to get backed up by Olsen. Olsen got to be careful there. If you go out of bounds before the ball does, then it doesn't count. Set one up, tie game here. Larson able to dig that one out, loses the handle, can't find it. That one's going to stay in. And Dowdle able to walk the tightrope on the other side.
Got numbers.
Great look. And what a save
Oh!
by
Orem, how you doing, 2-7? 6 save.
And then you see Venable break the stick as the ball comes across. Sorensen able to bring it in. And that one, shades of Kyle Bernlohr in the title game against North Carolina a couple games back, and that one popped out. Looking up top, Wirtz with the shot and the goal. Just like that, the Bison 2 unanswered, and they regain the lead. Look at the sideline, they are fired up. Great shot by the cameraman, but the Bison are flying high right now. Using their buffalo wings, huh?
Oh, man, this is an awesome game right now. Great energy out of both teams, and the momentum is certainly on North Dakota's side at the moment. Wirtz, you figured it was only a matter of time. This kid is an unbelievable right-handed shooter. He can bring it from up top. On that one, he brings it kind of low to the mid-range game, and he finds the back of the net for a big-time goal. But it all started with 27 Orem on the defensive end, the netminder with the save of the tournament that I've seen so far.
That's unbelievable. That's as good a save as you're going to see at any level. And, you know, I mentioned after I saw it, looked a lot like that save that Bernlohr made in the overtime frame a couple years back in the title game against Chris Cloutier. And I think when somebody makes that save on you, I mean, it's tough.
Yeah,
tough to swallow. And just had a final from New Haven. UMass falling to number 3 seed Yale, 15-13. Hard-fought season for the Minutemen, but they are now on their way home. And just like that, got the question, and there's the answer. This one coming downhill from Jack Stanchfield. And we got a tie game once again at 5-5. Both these teams opened their game up in the third quarter in the semifinal matchups. Today seems no different.
Yeah, 31 Stanchfield, we've called his name quite a bit in the action this week. Good player. You know, it seems like St. Thomas just loaded up with those big two-way, strong, athletic midfielders that can tap into a lot of different people, you know, coming from up top and dodging with a head of steam like we saw with Stanchfield on that one.
And he's another one of those big athletic midfield dodgers. And there's a great face-off win. Sorensen, he's been solid. As he gets it into the box. Bison quickly getting their unit on the field. Coach Bosch calling for a possession here. And there's the shot, high to low, off the mark. Olsen able to run it out. But solid effort coming the other way from Evan Ellison.
Olsen's been doing a real good job on the backup. You know, that's super important. A lot of people don't really talk about it a whole lot, but reaction, just like you would on any single play, you react quickly after a ground ball, you react after a save to break out and clear the ball up the field, but it's also important to see the game and react to the end line and make sure your team maintains possession in that situation. So great job by Olsen.
And that's one thing you can do. If maybe you're not passing or shooting all that well, they can't take the effort away from you, and that's one thing that's been consistent from Olsen all tournament. That's a tough haul-in for Ellison. Jackson flips it back. Getting in that 10-man, doing a good job of switching off. That one over the top. There's the shot and the finish. 2 goals for the Bison, 2 goals for the Tommies, and they regain the lead at the 4:30 mark in this game. But what a finish by St. Thomas. And again, the first time we've really seen them break the 10-man in a way to get an easy shot.
Yeah, when you do break that 10-man, it puts your defense and your goaltender in a really tough spot. You know, as you can see there, he's running as fast as he can to try to get back in the pipes and couldn't make it in time. So it's that risk reward that I've continued to talk about. North Dakota State has caused some turnovers because of the 10-man ride as well. But, you know, in that situation, you look a little bit silly when you do end up getting beat. It makes it very easy, a very easy goal on the offense, where when it's the 6-on-6 situation, we haven't seen many easy goals. St. Thomas has to work for everything.
Trent Gamm working in on the attack, been listed as a midfielder. Didn't get much run in the semifinal.
EJ, what are you seeing down there, buddy, by the on that 10-man ride? Anything pop out to you on that one?
Well, right now, Coach Bosch is looking for them to get their crash call, which is when they come out of that 10-man. He wants that call a little bit earlier. You know, and I agree with him on that. It seems like a couple times St. Thomas has had an opportunity to shoot it from distance and pulled back. Back to you guys.
And then you talk about that backup and how important it can be, Ryan. And Orem able to go out there and get it. Now the Bison coming back onto the offensive side is at just about the easiest clear they've had all day. Larson coming in out of the box. He gets it in his stick. Larson, a player that's been relatively quiet here today so far, but certainly a big piece. Had that big goal in the first half.
You know, Ryan, one other thing on that 10-man. I think the defensemen for North Dakota State are sliding upfield a little bit too much. I'd rather let that midfielder who just ran 60 yards shoot it than an attackman who's fresh and rested right on top of my cage.
Yeah, that's a great point that you bring up there for sure. And, you know, the other thing that I see out of this 10-man ride that I'd like to see North Dakota State do a little bit better, if they are going to do it, they got to switch and keep their goaltender as close to the goal as they possibly can. So St. Thomas is sending whoever the goaltender's guarding all the way up to the midfield stripe, bringing the goalie all the way up there rather than a little switch call and one defenseman go with him and the goalie always takes the closest attackman to the cage.
And what a play by Gamm over here right on the sideline to keep that ball in bounds. Gamm by his defender. Looks all the way across. Dowdle spinning away from pressure, and a great check over the top to get the ball out of his stick, but goosed right out to Tice. Looks like he wants to take a shot, gets it back to Dowdle. Dowdle high to high, off the mark. Again, the level, the intensity, everything raised here in Q3. Dowdle working on the shorty. You can hear the coach wanting to go back to him. By his first man, gets the shot inside. That one hits Orem. Didn't look like he saw it. That one came through traffic. Overthrows his guy, but picked up. Good composure, and then a great handle in the middle of the field. And finally, back outside to Benak.
Orem doesn't need to see him. You know? He's that good. He's
magic.
Having an awesome tournament, and you know, what a way to cap it off here if this squad can get a W today, because he's doing everything that he needs to do down there, leading the defense and playing strong in between the pipes for North Dakota State.
And always nice when you can get a sophomore playing at that level for you in a game with this sort of magnitude. Into the final minute of this third quarter, and so far this one has not disappointed. Turns the corner, that one's saved. Nice ground ball coming the other way. Broman. Quick one inside, able to sidestep the big hit. Comes Thice downhill. Loses his footing. Seeing that become more of a factor as the game has gone on, and that one off the pipe. A great effort from Vijams.
We talked about how crazy you got to be a goaltender.
Yeah.
That's Vijams right there from about 5 yards away, everything he's got.
Yeah.
Right at the goalie's head, basically. Good thing it caught a little piece of the pipe. But holy cow, these players now, they can just flat out shoot the ball. And that was a rocket shot by Vijams.
Yeah, and that one got across the end line before it even hit the deck. And that gives you some indication of how hard it was, but Venable unable to get the shot off as we are done with 3 quarters. 11 goals scored combined, 6 of them going St. Thomas's way, holding on to that 1-goal lead after relinquishing the lead to the Bison, scoring 2 quick ones, but 15 minutes to play, title on the line. Man, great game so far.
Yeah, we got a good one going here for sure. St. Thomas is playing really sharp, and North Dakota State's playing really good too. So exciting fourth quarter that we got coming up.
Well, I think this one will come down to the star players. I mean, we talked about this in the first quarter when you're calling Dowdle's name quite a bit. This is it. 15 minutes left in your season. Opportunity to leave it all out on the field, empty the tank. I mean, are you taking anything but those first-line midfielders and attackmen right now?
No, I think you got to get them out there quite a bit. 21 Sam Turner and 22 Dowdle. Those are their 2 big studs that can dodge from up top. Get them the ball, let them go to work, and then at the other end, Preston Olson, number 4 at attack. A lot of the offense goes through him. He plays behind the cage quite a bit. Like to see him have a big quarter. Noah Simpson, Bannock, number 10, Anthony Bannock. He's a bowling ball up and down the field, just a good athlete and rock solid body to him. And those 3 guys that come to mind for North Dakota State. So this is the time for your stars to shine, and we'll see what happens here. But I'm fired up, revved up here, man. I got the energy like these guys do on the sidelines.
Well, let's see if EJ's got the energy too. Bring it to us.
I do, guys. I was in the North Dakota State huddle, their offensive huddle. They're talking. They're looking at some adjacent slides coming from St. Thomas. So rather than sending their guys through all the way to the crease, they want them to sort of watch their defender. And once he turns his head to step up to slide, they want to sort of squat in that spot behind it. They want to make sure they find a passing lane, though. And then when they do go to their invert sets, they want their Dodgers to be a little bit more patient. They felt like they rushed a couple and maybe shot them before they got above GLE, and also didn't let their guys up top set up quite as well as they would have liked. Back to you guys.
Dice looked like he went early. Let's see which way the call's going to go. And that one's going to go against the Bison. Both of them jumped a little bit, but it appeared that Shrout went first, at least according to the Zebras. Shrout out there on Thice, and he's able to knock it down, but he's able to pick the ground ball up immediately, send it up top to Dowdle. Thice, Dowdle, as well as Baumgartner. A little bit of an invert here as Venable working from up top.
This is a good matchup if you're St. Thomas. Venable going against a short stick. He's used to playing attack. He draws a long pull every time. North Dakota State somehow got a little switch action, and they're stuck with a short pull on him.
Quick collapse, good recovery. That one inside. The official calling for the tip. That one going to stay with the Tommies. That second line midfield in right now. Stanchfield has been effective. Baumgartner. I don't know that I've seen a team out here, maybe all tournament, with as many players above 6 feet than this St. Thomas roster, D1 or D2. Patient offensive set. Baumgartner taking the look. There's the shot from Stanchfield as he hits the corner. Top shelf, off stick. What a finish for 31 as he gets the 2-goal lead for the Tommies.
We continue to talk about the talent that they have out of the midfield. St. Thomas, Stanchfield, great catch, high to high, buried it right in the upper 90 part of the cage. As you can see here, catch, he had plenty of time and room to release that ball with some serious speed and great placement. Put those two things together, and you got a goal, my friends.
And putting the fun in fundamental over the top, stinging that corner, and giving the Tommies one step closer to hoisting their 6th all-time championship. Normandin out there, taking the draws, going against Theis, and that one picked up. And that one going the Tommies' way. This is a big opportunity. No team is led by more than 2 today. Tommies look to push their lead to 3. And with the pacing of this game, 3 goals, closing in on 12 and a half to play. It'll be a tall order for this North Dakota State team. Back to that first line midfield, Dowdle up top. Nice skip pass. There's a great save by Orem. He's been everywhere today. Normandin can't come up with the ground ball. Turner hauls it in.
Such a big ground ball right there. Works so hard on the defensive end, get an unbelievable save out of Orem. You got to pick that ball up off the turf and clear it.
And 12 minutes left in the season. Unless we get some free lacrosse for all of these players. Thomas doing a good job of getting the defense rotating. Got the shorties on the corners, up top in this zone look. A shot clock call coming from the green sideline. Only 1 shot clock so far today. And there it is. See the signal from the official. 30 seconds to get a shot on the frame. Dowdle coming from up top. He takes the shot. That one hit the frame. Normandin gooses it backwards to himself. Sees he's going to come up with it. No call. The official's letting him play. And that one goosed out by Shrout. So he gets it forward to Olsen. Olsen coming inside, takes the shot, big time save by Jackson. That one's still out, picked up by Simpson. And he's gonna get a crease violation.
Oh, I didn't see that from here. I didn't see the crease violation, but the referee was right on the call.
And talked to EJ in the break, and that's a pretty mucked up area of the field. So it could be that maybe the lines aren't as clear as you'd like them to be.
Yeah, guys, I walked the field at halftime. It's a pretty good shape still. The creases are the only places where it's starting to slip a little bit.
And that is very close. Great work on the picture-in-picture there. See if we can get one more look at that one maybe. There in that same picture-in-picture. But maybe his heel caught the edge of the crease. But that one, a tough call going against the Bison. But that one tossed out of bounds, unforced error. That one, Jake Bauman, the senior, likely want that one back. And here you get another look at it again from a little bit different angle. And you can, it's tough to see, maybe down there in the corner as you see it paused right there. From that angle, I don't know. That's a tough call, but I mean, no one call is gonna win this game. It's Stanchfield trying to come away with it. Shrout, he's been all over the place. And we see a player down, grabbing his knee. You hate to see that. It's an official timeout here. See if the trainers come out and get him, trying to get up, but staying on the deck. That's 19, Chad Hayda. This is the #1 D mid here for this Bison squad. This would be a huge loss for the boys in green. He's a big piece of what they do out there. Tough. You see a surface like this, you catch a tough break, get a dig, but EJ, you were down over there. What did you see?
I was there. They were, just fighting for that ground ball. Unfortunately, looked like he just sort of caught his knee a little bit there.
He's back up on his feet. Both sidelines getting their hands together. Like to see that solid sportsmanship from these teams all day. For the most part, playing a good, clean game. And just two competitors familiar with each other. Dakota walking off under his own power. And that's certainly something you like to see. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. But you see some of those non-contact injuries we just saw a replay there. Sometimes those can be the worst. There's Vijams up top. And there's the shot from outside. Pulled it a little bit, but Bumgardner not afraid to let her rip. Now when pushed out, North Dakota State able to come away with the ground ball. It's pressure coming against Orem. As he brings it up the field. Able to get it to Halverson. Halverson brings it across. This is a big possession for North Dakota State. And we got a interview down there at the sideline, EJ, with MCLA President Ken Lovick.
That's right. I'm down here with MCLA President, Georgia Tech head coach Ken Lovick. Coach Lovick, this is the first year in Salt Lake City. How do you think things have gone so far?
I'm told about today with the weather. It's been going great. The whole week ahead, previous games were fantastic. Great competition all around. A little chilly today, but at least we have a fantastic ball game going on right here in the Division II finals. Right.
And there have been some great games in both divisions so far. What's it been like getting 32 teams out here to Salt Lake City, a new venue? You guys enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the complex here, and the Salt Lake folks and the host committee have done a great job welcoming us here. The fields are holding up, which is good to see right now too. But like you said, it's great competition, the opening rounds, with some great games all the way around. And so I'm looking forward to the final, how this one's going to finish up, and also the Division I finals.
Right, looks like we're going to have a couple good games here. The finish here should be interesting. 2-goal game, 8.5 minutes left. Definitely something to look forward to with the Chapman, South Carolina game following this as well. Or not South Carolina, sorry. Chapman, Michigan State. Got ahead of myself there. Back to you guys.
Thanks there, EJ. And I got to agree with you. I mean, that's fantastic competition all across the board. You've been here all week. First taste of the MCLA. I mean, pretty fun week here in Salt Lake.
It has been a lot of fun. This is really my first taste of MCLA Lacrosse, and it's been really cool to see all the different schools come from a lot of different states and locations across the country. And I just hats off to the players, the dedication that they put in. A lot of these guys have to make a big financial commitment to even play on a club lacrosse team. And, they play for the love of the game, as, all of the coaches as well. So, very passionate about the sport, and it's been fun. A lot of good talent out here.
And a tough play out there, like Fuller trying to get that ball down to the other end. There's a nice handle inside on the pass from Olsen. That one's going to stay in as Wirtz runs it down. Haven't called his number much recently either. A big-time player. So roll inside, good help defense. And that's a good check. That one's going to stay inside. Soft turf. Helping the Bison out on that end. Larson coming in, he wants the ball. Got the shorty matchup. Moves it. And there's Wirtz, takes the shot. Gonna get backed up by Larson. 6.5 to play, flag down here. Wait, misspoke. And might be time to see a little bit more urgency from this North Dakota State offense.
Yeah, plenty of time right now. This is a big possession for them. This could definitely get the momentum back on their side and make St. Thomas grip their stick a little bit tighter here if it's a 1-goal game rather than a 2-goal game. So big possession here. This would be a huge get if they can get one.
And what a finish by Larson. Looks like that one may have been a one-handed finish, but that's when you got to start leaning on your upperclassman Larson, a junior And he was able to use his big frame and get inside and take that momentum here at the 6:08 mark. Sideline Sally on point. They're on the roller coaster ride with the rest of us.
Great goal right there by 13, Eric Larson. Like you said, a big body, big frame, nice dodge. Gets past his defenseman, able to regain his low hand on the stick and sting one to the top corner at very low angle. So a huge goal like I just talked about before he scored that one. A 1-goal game is completely different than a 2-goal game at this point in the game.
Now one popped out. This is a big ground ball. Campbell comes up with it. There's a big hit on the other side. Let's see that one going against St. Thomas. And that's a big hustle play. Normandin coming in. Normandin, the senior, wants his season to end with some hardware. He's able to win another draw. And one thing I can say about this Bison squad is they've done a pretty good job of winning possessions when they needed them. And that was a good time to win one.
That came at a great time, and we'll see if North Dakota State can do another great job in their offensive set. Produced a high-quality shot and a nice goal on the last one. And they need to do it again right now. Tie this thing up with just over 5 minutes to go. Championship game.
That's Bannock working up top on the shorty. Joined by Sorensen and Marsh as a part of this unit. Turns the corner, takes the shot. Big time save by Jackson. And he gets that one back. Now looking to push the possession in the other way. That one just missed the mark. And maybe should have let that one go as Lutkin picks up the ball and then immediately gets pushed out of bounds.
Yeah, Bannock, number 10 for North Dakota State. He was directing some traffic out there. He was feeling it. He wanted to go.
Wasn't a bad option. Lost his defender.
Not a bad option at all. He produced a really high-quality shot, but Mr. Jackson was there to shut the door with a great save.
And high pressure on the defense here. 4 minutes to play. 1-goal game. Title on the line. Again, nice to see Hayda back out there. Saw him go down. A little bit of a knee injury. Thice looking to move it. Does. Great look by Turner. There's a shot. And what a save by Orman. He keeps it out. Great awareness. And Hayda able to fight off the double. And now Sorensen drops the ball.
Pull it out here if you're North Dakota State. You got 2 guys subbing off. Get your top guys out there.
It's a part of this first line.
Both
teams still have 2 timeouts.
I was just about ready to say I'm not sure where Bannock is right now, but they just subbed off for him. So number 10 comes back in. He does have a short stick on him. This is their best matchup from what I've seen during the course of this game. So let number 10, Bannock, do some work and dodge on his defenseman.
Olsen looking for some help here.
Get it up top here and cut through. Get it up to Bannock, now cut through and create some space on the right-hand side. 16's got to get through.
Again, loses his footing. That's tough. Officials letting him play. So, both teams come through, and there's the push call. And that one's going to be going against St. Thomas.
Yeah, that's a good call. Officials been doing a great job out here.
And now it's time for a timeout for the Bison. And you like the timing of that one there?
I do. I like it. 2:39 on the clock. 2:35 rather.
But had another question coming in here. This one from MSU Laxer 27. Have you guys seen anyone this week who you think might be able to make the jump to the MLL? I mean, I think if I had to pick one guy that I've seen, it's likely Dylan Garner. I mean, he's been playing at another level compared to the rest of the competition. But anybody you've seen, RP?
I got one vote. I'd say the stout kid from Utah, number 1. He was one of the the craftiest players that I've seen. That's not taking anything away from Garner. I think he's very talented as well. But if you made me pick one guy, I'd probably be on Stout's train. But Dylan Garner's got another opportunity to win my vote here in the championship game coming up for sure. He was awesome yesterday. I think he popped in 5 or 6 Gs.
Yep, 5 Gs and an assist.
Yeah, he was huge for his team. Yeah, Bonham's a good player as well. He can shoot it really well. Garner's a little bit more of the ball carrier for the team. Bonham's a catch and shoot guy.
And of the MCLA guys we've seen get some real burn, the goalies seem to have been, in terms of volume. I saw Alex Smith out of Colorado State and Ronnie Fernando out of Division II, former Division II Power Concordia, now at the Division I level. Had the opportunity to at least suit up. Hasn't gotten any minutes, but
where's he at, Fernando?
He's with Atlanta. Was going to suit up this weekend if Utah had continued their run, but Gittleman going to get back in time to play today. But had gotten the call to suit up, so he's a guy got selected in the supplemental this year. Been working real hard, based out of Boston. This first line offense. Again, there's a shot. Larson loses some footing, but able to get that shot off. Going to be a possession shot, just over 2 to play. Bison still trailing by 1. Olsen gets it to Simpson. Been very impressed with the defense of St. Thomas on this attack unit from North Dakota State. Both Simpson and Olsen been pretty quiet today.
Got a step.
And what a finish, pipe, net. Game is tied as Larson scores his second goal in a row. And look at that sideline. He comes over to dap up his boys. And we have got one heck of a contest here today. 7-7, 151 to play.
I love that player right there, 13, Eric Larson. We've called his name a handful of times today. Big, athletic player. Will not be stopped going to the cage. Jump shot with some serious heat. The crowd is fired up. Their team bench is going nuts. Great fan support from North Dakota State here on hand in Salt Lake City. Huge goal. We got a great game coming. Great finish coming, I should say. Woo.
And that one kicked out by Normandin. And again, the senior winning his second draw in a row. Big time. Now Bosch, Coach Bosch calling the timeout, and you can feel the excitement right now for North Dakota State as they are stepping closer to their first ever potential championship. Ball game tied. Minute 39 to play. I mean, what are you drawing up here? Larson's got the hot hand.
I like what they were doing just on those the last 2 offensive possessions that they've had, in particular the last one that they had. They were spreading the ball around and letting the ball do the work. It was going from one guy's stick to the next. I like a little Bannock, number 10, with a dodge to set things up, with an understanding to know that they're going to slide to you. St. Thomas is going to slide to that kid and then move the ball super hot. And they've had, when they've done that, there's been 2 or 3 passes that have happened after Bannock dodges, and they're hitting guys on the backside in a wide open shooting position. So I'd like to see that. If I were the coach, that's what I would be calling. But St. Thomas doesn't have an answer for Bannock, number 10, when he's in the dodging situation. And then Larson's very determined to get himself to the cage as well.
Well, let's send it over to EJ, and he was listening in on the huddle.
Right, guys. I expect North Dakota State, they'll come out in a 2-2-2 set here. Look for them to sweep right-handed across the top. Look for Larson again. He's going to be back out there. That's my expectation. He's going to get the ball and go down that right-handed side in a sweep. If they don't have it there, they'll look for something on the backside. Back to you guys.
I think this is that right-handed sweep that you're talking about, EJ. We're going to see number 10 do it, not 13 Larson. I think number 10 Bannock starts it up with a high righty sweep right here.
Well, and I guess the question now is, do you hold for the last shot? Or do you try your luck a little earlier in the clock?
They are going to hold, guys, till the last shot, unless it's a dunk, they said.
Man, those passes coming from 16 Stover. looking for the attack, been dug out of the ground twice. You know, obviously the St. Thomas team, third consecutive
Here
year
comes
playing
Bannock
for a
on this
title.
righty sweep we talked about.
Bannock rolling away, gets the look to Larson. Dowdle on him, timer on. And that one gonna go out of bounds. Nice lift, it looked like. 47 seconds to play. Title on the line. Turner in the middle, takes a big hit. Able to keep that one in his stick and then gets the flag down there. Able to come up with the ground ball. That's a great athletic play. And that one knocked down and then pushed away. Let's see another flag down. And let's see, are they going to be 2 men down here?
Oh, man, they got 3 calls on them. 2 pushes in the back, and then they got them on the delay of game call as well.
And I think this is
all good calls.
All good calls. I think this is where being there before, maybe the experience coming in, you can't give up that play. Got to play hard, but at the same time, you know, I mean, I think I'm coming down there. You like that play out of Turner, able to fight for that ball, but out of the 10-man, you know you got the flags down. You know, maybe take a shot from the midline. You know, give yourself an opportunity. The man up as the officials are going to talk it over here. Let's see what the final call is, but we could see St. Thomas up as many as 3 men. So multiple fouls. It's going to be a push with possession, 30-second technical going against 13. It's 2 going against Larson. And so it looks like we're going to get 2 men in the penalty box, 10 and 13, 6-on-4 for the final 25 seconds. This is a tough break right now for North Dakota State, and we see it again here. And that comes down to the athleticism from Turner, able to run away with it. And that one knocked down, and then the push there. But 13, you're Larson, you just got to be smarter than that.
Yeah, that extra one, there's no need for that for sure. And, you know, those were good calls by the official. It's been such an awesome game to watch. You know, I hate to see it come down to this, but this is setting St. Thomas up for some serious success right here. This is the hardest play to defend in all of lacrosse, is the 6-on-4 situation.
And one thing I will say is if you had to lean on someone right now, Orem's a guy that has answered the call so far. Between the pipes, he's made a number of point-blank saves, maybe some saves you wouldn't even expect him to make. So this is an opportunity where it's going to take a really good shot to get it past this sophomore goalie. But the St. Thomas coach wants to talk it over, getting his boys fired up. Coach Gross looking for his 2nd title in 3 years. And EJ over there listening in on the huddle. You got anything for us?
Yeah, guys, look for St. Thomas to come out and run a wheel play here. I think they'll carry up and throw back to a guy sneaking from behind. That's what they're looking for here.
We got the sideline. You have the coaches from both sides yelling at their boys to give it everything they've got. 25 seconds left in an instant classic. Title on the line. Got a great shot of the trophy. A few minutes back. St. Thomas, runners up last season. Champions the year before. Bison looking for their first title and their first ever appearance. Getting the rotation working. Down to the final 15 seconds here. Getting it working. Going around, getting that pass in. There's the shot. Big time save. That one stays out. And that one picked up again. If they can get the shot off. 2-1. And that's going to do it for regulation. We're getting some free lacrosse. And what a save by Orem on the doorstep to let the Bison live again. 5 seconds left on these penalties. Official time called. But what a flurry finish at the end there, Ryan.
That was a really good man upset there out of St. Thomas. They did a great job on that wheel, moving the ball super quick. Got it down to the low man on the right side, and Orem was huge, as he has been throughout the course of the day. And I If I'm not mistaken, I think that you said that might happen. Orem with a big-time save in the late seconds of the fourth.
When you look at how aggressively he stepped out, when that shot was taken, he was a good 6 inches outside the crease. That's how you got to do it. At that point in the game, it's all or nothing. And that one came up Orem's way. Big opportunity here on the face-off. As we take a look, I think there should be about 5 seconds left on the extra man. We saw this Bison team score a shorthanded goal in the first half. They've shown that they can win face-offs as the captains go out to chat it over a little bit, but this is a huge opportunity for both of these squads.
Yeah, this face-off's going to be really important.
And it's interesting to see. We've seen Normandin be the guy here at the end of the game. He's had a lot of success. They sent Shroud out last time for the man-down face. He was able to win that one. But, I mean, who do you like here?
I think this is awesome. I'm just over here just taking it all in, man. MCLA Championship Week, final game going to OT, as it should be. And, you know, we've seen a lot of different guys from both teams that can get it done. Number 10 for North Dakota State, Bannock. He's been really tough to stop. Keep an eye on him. Right now at this stage of the game, you know, St. Thomas, thank God you got number 22 in the lineup, Dodal, because he's great in between the lines. He's going to be on the wing on the face-off, see if he can get possession for him and take it down to the offensive end and do good things.
And you see these teams out here, 31 games combined on the season, now coming down to make it, take it for the trophy.
This is a big face-off that we have going on right here, folks.
You got Shroud, no one on the wing for him. 5 seconds left in this penalty. Then there'll be an additional 30 seconds for that delay of game going against Larson. But that's when that one comes up. Shroud comes away with it. See if we get a timeout here. There's the shot, and that one hits the net. See if they get it. They give the timeout. It's waved off. It's waved off. But that would have been the second shorthanded goal. Holy cow. Talk about some drama. But the timeout, the whistle blown right before that one hits the net. On the bouncer, no less, from Shroud. What a bold move by 43. Holy cow, as we get a look at the replay. Coming downhill, takes the shot. That one off the kneecap and into the top corner. You see the celebration, but good call by the officials waving that off.
Yeah, it was a good timeout, to be honest with you. You know, you always it doesn't look great as a coach when you call a timeout in that situation, but it was the smart call. He's got a long pole coming down. There's 2 men that were still off the field. They had to kill off a penalty. There's still a couple seconds left on that. So they're actually 4 on 6 in that situation. And, you know, although it looks bad and you can, you know, critique that and talk about it tonight if this game goes one way or the other. But, you know, as a coach, you got to take that timeout, and I fully support it.
And I believe North Dakota State back to 5 men now. Still 30 seconds left on Larson's penalty for the delay of game. And again, you talk about composure. This is a big shot. They would be back to 6 on 6 if he hadn't thrown that ball right at the end of regulation. We got EJ down there who's listening in on the huddle. What do you got for us?
Well, guys, I was in the North Dakota State huddle, and the big point of that huddle for them was to get guys to move past that play of the timeout, eradicating that goal, and focus on what's happening here. They're going to kill these 30 seconds, get their 6th guy on, and then I'd look for them to come back in that 2-2-2 set they were running there in the end of the 4th quarter. Back to you guys.
Back to Simpson, 20 seconds left on this penalty. Looks like Normandin's going to be the guy coming in, doing a good job coming through. St. Thomas wanted the moving pick call. I don't think they're going to get that at this point in the game.
No way.
Down to the final 3-2-1 left on this penalty. Back to even strength. Great haul-in by Olsen. And now Larson, the guy coming in from up top.
Watch out. This kid's got confidence, baby.
Again, sudden victory here. Larson coming inside. Thinking about it, and that one out of his stick and out of bounds. Larson wanted to make up for that penalty call. Again, St. Thomas. Been there 3 years in a row.
North Dakota State is out of the 10-man here in overtime, guys.
First time I've seen them out of the 10-man all tournament. Trusting in their 6-on-6 defense, which has been very strong today. Holding this St. Thomas team to one of their lowest totals of the season. And there's a timeout for St. Thomas. Yeah, the only team this season to hold them to fewer than 7 goals on the season. Sierra Nevada during the regular season. Florida Gulf Coast during the tournament here in round 2. A game they won 6-4, but this is a team that has been able to fill it up. And interesting to see how they come out. Obviously, they've had success coming through the midfield. Who do you like to be the guy here?
Well, I mean, the same guys that we've been talking about. I think that St. Thomas has a couple different options that they can go with. Turner, 21, Dowdle, 22. Those are 2 good options. I wouldn't be surprised if I see one of those guys dodge and ends up with Vijams or Venable for a shot to win this thing. But it all starts with those 2 guys, Dowdle and Turner, 21, 22. Big, athletic, strong midfielders, very talented at dodging from up top.
And Trent Gamm has been getting that run as the 3rd attackman rather than Nicholas Bundy, who we've seen earlier in the season. Gamm, the senior, out there, but EJ was listening in on the huddle. What do you have?
You were spot on there, Ryan. The ball is going to start with Dowdle on the wing over there, and they're going to look for him to go right away in his dodge. They want Bundy to be the adjacent guy and clear through, and they want to sort of force North Dakota State to make a decision. Are they going to slide off Bundy, or are they going to let him cut through and maybe get open inside? Back to you guys.
Thanks, EJ, and this could be a big opportunity. Haven't called Bundy's number much. There's a shot from Dowdle. That one off the defender. That one's going to stay in. Bundy's going to pick it up. Loses his footing, but able to maintain control. Good effort play by Bundy. St. Thomas going to keep possession here. Go right back to the well with Dowdle. Turns the corner, takes the shot. That one off the mark, but not a bad effort. Venable going to start with it. Again, overtime in lacrosse, sudden victory. The next goal scored will decide a national champion. The official out there helping out. Button it up, Valentini's lid. Trout working on Venable, back up to Dowdle. Dowdle still working on the shorty. It's Hayda. There's a skip across to Theis. See if they go back to Dowdle here, and they do.
We've been keeping a short stick on Dowdle. He's exposed him 2 times so far. Don't be surprised to go back to that guy again. Right here, great matchup.
Rolls away from the pressure, gets in his right hand. Orem up to the challenge once again. As he sends it up. It's Dietz able to get it across the midline. And again, Bison back on the offensive side. 75 seconds to play in the first overtime frame. Normandin with it now.
Got to get that ball to number 10, Bannock, on this play. Haven't been getting it to him too much here. It's time for North Dakota State to get the ball to number 10.
Normandin moves it around. Simpson now working with it. Back to Normandin. Wants the shot, working on Dowdle. Dowdle loses his footing. Now back
right
up
here.
to
Now
Bannock.
get through for him. Let him go to work on this right-hand sweep dodge. Tough to stop.
Bannock turns the corner, gets the help, takes the shot. Another big save by Jackson. Ball down, maximum effort. As that one picks up by St. Thomas. Back to Jackson as he walks it up, has some space in the middle, looking for Fuller, dangerous pass. Ball still down. Bundy had a line on it, goosed out. It's like it's gonna be St. Thomas. Levin comes up with it, Perry, but he loses it again, picks it up, gets Venable. Venable turning the corner. Coach Gross.
Short time. Venables not understanding that he's got only a few seconds on the clock.
Look inside, 2-1. That's going to do it for overtime number 1. Ryan, got to tell you what, I'm starting to get a little sweaty up here, even in the cold weather.
It's a great game. This is an awesome game we got to witness here. And, Venable, he picked that ball up with 10 seconds, and he was running towards the end line and looking to settle things down a little bit before he realized the coaching staff screaming at him, and took a glimpse up at the clock, and then he pushed it. But it was a little bit late and a little helter-skelter, but had a little look and a little opportunity there, but great overtime frame.
And both goalies coming up with a couple of gigantic saves in the overtime, and you can't talk enough about Orem and Jackson and what they've meant to these teams over the course of this tournament. Orem stoning the St. Thomas offense right at the end of regulation to send this one to extra time, and then making a couple of big saves here in this extra frame. Both teams creating good opportunities, but there is no give. These guys are leaving it on the field, every last ounce they got.
We're going to have another big-time face-off coming up. Could decide the fate of either club here. It's how important the face-off is to the game of lacrosse. Super important right now. Got to get a win, get your top 6 offensive players out there, get a nice offensive set, but both defenses been extremely stingy, not giving up too much. So we should see some excitement here in the next 4 minutes, and I'm thinking that we're going to have a winner in this overtime period right here.
It's going to be Shrout versus Campbell, senior on senior, with the season on the line. Most of the fans have stood up. They're feeling the excitement and the tension of this moment. Campbell wins it forward to himself. Venable able to get the rock. Fuller makes his way off the field. Going to get the second line midfield for St. Thomas. This is where the depth factors in. Maybe a little fresher legs. Again, we've seen these guys make big plays. Bundy back out on the field as a part of this attack unit. Had seen Gam as that 4th attackman. Benegal up top. Stanchfield has been great, and he takes the shot. That's not a bad effort. Doesn't hit the frame like he may have had. Orem fooled. Now Vijums. Stroud loses his footing, recovers nicely.
Stroud's played really good today, 43 for North Dakota State. He's been all over the field, great on ground balls, and doing a really rock-solid job playing defense as well.
Been taking some draws as well. And loses the footing. Let's see what the call is here. Looked like he grabbed the stick. Bannock with it. Gets the quick whistle. And that's great defense. Did you see the top midfielder?
It's a good matchup right here, right now.
Bannock, Larson, Stover. Now Bannock stepping off, getting Sorensen on. Both teams going back to the well, seeing if they can find some fresh legs.
I think with Bannock off now, you got to get that ball behind the cage to number 4, Preston Olson. Let him do a little bit of shaking and baking, and then hopefully it can end up in your midfielder's hands, number 13, Eric Larson, for a shot.
Sorensen with the shorty matchup here. Gets it to Larson. Larson loses the handle again. He's out there looking at Fuller. Fuller loses his footing. That one stays in. Let's see who's going to get it. And there's the push, picked up. And now going the other way. And that was a big push against Larson, against Fuller. And there's the goal and the finish for the first time ever in the history of the program. North Dakota State will be hosting the Division II National Championship Trophy. What a finish, what a game. It seems fitting, the finish coming out of the unsettled situation. Gloves, helmets, sticks, all in the air. as the Bison collect the hardware.
Once again, fans, we ask you please stay off the field and stand by. Momentarily, we'll be presenting the championship trophy as well as the MVP.
And that one coming down to effort at the end of that play. As we see, get a replay here on the championship game winner. None of these players should be hanging their heads as they left every ounce out on the field. And there's the great effort and the finish. Takes a hit for his trouble, throws his stick. Ryan Stover, the sophomore out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota, etches his name in history as he scores the game winner in overtime.
No doubt.
Frame
We
number
haven't
2.
called his name much today. It's one of those unsung heroes, steps up at the right time in this ball game. He was not going to be denied going to the cage. You could see it once he got the ball in his stick. He was very determined that he was going to go by that defenseman and create some offense and get a great shot. That's certainly what he did. Well played championship game here today by both teams. I thought it was an excellent game to watch. Two well-coached teams, really cleaned up from round one, kind of the sloppy play to come out here. And, that second half was really rock solid. Very few turnovers, great competition, guys leaving it all on the field playing with a little heart. And so happy to be here to witness this firsthand in Salt Lake City here at the MCLA Championships. And awesome win, North Dakota State. Congratulations, the number one and first in program history. So a lot to be proud of. These guys start working in the fall time. Day one, once they get on campus and come together.
Check 1 2. Check.
The goal is to form the best team that you possibly can by the end. And these guys have put it all together. All the pieces came together for a huge win for their program.
And got to say, hats off to the officials as well. I mean, these are both physical teams that were playing as hard as they could. And I think the right mix of letting them play and calling tough penalties, but especially in the fourth quarter and along with the overtime frames, I think the officials did about as good a job as you could hope for.
Yeah, I thought they were awesome for sure all day. This has been a very well officiated tournament, to be honest with you. And these guys, excellent crew out here that we had on the championship game. And, they didn't really come into play in the game like sometimes the officials do. So, excellently officiated, excellently played both ways. And, the only call that they might have missed was that crease call. Our guys from Prodigy, these guys doing the awesome camera work. I mean, they zoomed right in on that, and I can't tell if his heel was in there or not. From here, it didn't look like it, but his heel might have been on the line. The referee was on the call.
They were right on top of it. But again, it's no one call changes it as you get these teams coming together to shake hands. Obviously, when you see an opponent, as often as these opponents see each other, you can see the respect, the admiration between the players and the coaching staffs. This, like you mentioned earlier, the third occasion that these teams have met this season. The Tommies getting the better of the first two, but the Bison getting the result that they wanted in the title game.
So it'll be great to hear from the coach and see what he has to say. But what does this mean to your program, Coach? What does this mean for your university, and how are you feeling right now? That's what I'd like to know.
I mean, over the moon, you'd have to think, and we're going to see the trophy presentation down on the far end of the field as you have the opportunity to order your championship gear now until the 20th. You can see it there at allusportswear.com. The players getting their shirts on right now for the championship. You see Coach Bosch
just right inside the
down
line
there.
EJ,
I mean, you got anything to add for us? I mean, what a game. One of the best I've ever seen.
Right, it really was just a great game, hard-fought game between two teams that really know each other well. It was just well played on both sides. Every ground ball was a fight. It was really fun to watch from the sideline and feel the energy. It was a really enjoyable game for me on the sideline.
And this one just the first of two championship games coming your way. Got a great matchup coming up next at 2:30. Chapman and Michigan State going head-to-head. Two teams that have not seen each other this season, or actually in a few seasons, so not the same sort of familiarity, but equal talent on both ends of the field for those squads as well. As you get a good look at this North Dakota State squad walking up, getting their first good look at the championship trophy. We saw SLC President Matt Holman down there handing out the medals to each of these student athletes. But certainly, man, couldn't ask for a better game there. But definitely stick with us. Take a quick break here before we send it back out for the trophy presentation ceremony. But one goal, double overtime victory for North Dakota State. What a finish. Instant classic.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we invite you to turn your attention to the championship table. Here to present the MCLA National Championship, as well as the most valuable player, please welcome MCLA President Ken Lovett.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get out, a couple of words, we want to thank the St. Thomas team for a great finals today. So congratulations to the finalists in St. Thomas. Before we hand out the National Championship Trophy, we'd like to award this year's MVP. This year's MVP of the Division II National Tournament, Evan Schrout. And obviously now, you all been waiting for, I am pleased to present the MCLA Division II National Championship and first ever National Championship for this program to North Dakota State University.
You want it to come through the PA?
great look of Coach Bosch and the boys. As you see, all smiles for the Bison here. And there's a good look at the littlest Bison fan. It's Coach Bosch out there, and what a game, what a championship. Final result, first time ever hoisting the trophy, North Dakota State. 1-goal, double overtime victory over perennial power St. Thomas in their third meeting of the season. Ryan, anything else before we send this one?
Buddy, this was an awesome game. Fun to be a part of it. Good to be on the call with you. Thanks to Lacrosse All-Stars, Prodigy, MCLA Championship, Salt Lake City. As it should be in the national title game, you want a 1-goal game in overtime, so you can't draw it up any better. And, you know, great season by St. Thomas to be on this stage in this game. You know, that's no secret that they got an awesome program over there. But you know, to see North Dakota State win its first ever title for their university, it's very special. And congratulations to Coach Bosch and his squad, and really cool to witness. And looking forward to the next game that we get to call in the Division I, Michigan State, Chapman. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Going to put a nice little bow on this one. The 1-goal victory for North Dakota State as they hoist their #1 first ever championship trophy. Big shout out to Prodigy for helping us put this together. Tournament powered by Under Armour as well. And beautiful hosts of the Regional Athletic Complex. And looks like we've got EJ down there with Coach Bosch to put a nice bow on this one.
Coach, congratulations on your first national championship. You've got a big exciting time. How's that feel for you? What's that mean for your program?
I probably had a couple of guys end my life on the way home, so it's a good thing they scored at the end. And they like me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're probably right on that one. What was the secret to you guys getting the third result different than the first two matchups?
You know, over the course of the first two matchups, we just turned the ball over way too many times. I mean, you can't win any game having 30 turnovers in a game, and we just knew today if we possessed the ball and kept it close in the fourth quarter that our 10-man ride would eventually wear them down, and we'd have some good looks on offense, and that's what happened. They weren't able to capitalize when they had their opportunities, and we were. So,
absolutely. Congratulations, Coach, again. Team was a lot of fun to watch. Congratulations on a great tournament.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's it, guys. Back to you.
And as EJ says, that's it. A wrap on this Division II National Championship game. I'm Chris Marshall, and for Ryan Powell and EJ Freeman, thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you in just a little under an hour for the Division I matchup between Chapman and Michigan State. What a game. I hope this one doesn't disappoint either. 8-7 victory for the Bison over the Tommies. That's going to do it here for us from Salt Lake City. We'll see you in a few.